I just watched a really great video and analysis on the Diamond Distributors Bankruptcy filing and the decline of vintage comic books posted by Reserved Investments today. And that's Sean's channel. And Sean's video inspired me to create this video. So I've linked his video down below, so make sure you go check it out. And I love his page. He's another collector that I believe understands the collectible speculation industry and its extreme risks. And he always shares some great insights on collecting. So make sure you check him out, okay? All right, so the point of this video is to provide my own commentary and perspective on the Diamond Comics bankruptcy restructure, and also to share my thoughts on comic books and the industry itself as a whole. I'll also talk about the people we can't help but dislike sometimes, resellers. That's right, I'm talking about the ones that have decided to make purchasing our childhood memories and upselling them to us on auction and reseller apps. You know, the same folks that buy multiple items on pre-order and they upsell them to the public when inventory dries up. These are the folks that will benefit the most from the Diamond Distributors bankruptcy and the supply chain issues that will surely ensue right after that as well. And by the way, this video is not going to be like, going to have a lot of transitions and all the glitzy pop-ups and all that. That is a trademark of most of my videos, mainly because I wanted to get this video out fast, and also because, quite frankly, creating videos like that is a time suck, and I think we're all grown-ups and we can just talk about this. All right, so what's with the Diamond Distributors bankruptcy? Let me go ahead and bring you up to speed. So first of all, Diamond Comics Distributors, one of the largest comic book distributors and distribution companies in North America, is basically undergoing significant changes after filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy, okay? So they're doing a restructuring. And what this restructuring aims to do is stabilize its financial foundation, and it involves selling key assets, including Alliance Game Distributors, which has already attracted a $39 million bid from an affiliate of Universal Distribution. There are other big dogs. Additional assets like Diamond UK are also set to be sold. And despite these challenges, Diamond's leadership is basically saying, including President Chuck Parker, he's assuring customers that operations will continue with minimal disruptions during the process. Of course, they're supposed to say that, right? So the development comes basically amid a growing shift in the comic book industry, as we all know, as very major publishers like Marvel, DC, Image, and Boom Studios have ended their exclusive distribution agreements with Diamond. They're basically opting for a broader distribution channel, okay? So Marvel Comics is closely monitoring Diamond's bankruptcy proceedings, despite not being one of its top creditors. Basically what this suggests to me is that it could be tied to potential financial obligations to Penguin Random House, or even plans for Marvel to establish a new distribution company. So they're watching it very closely. And if you remember, this happened back in the 90s during their Heroes World experiment that they had. Okay, so the bankruptcy's ripple effects are already being felt, okay? So with the abrupt closure of Diamond's Plattsburgh distribution center in December, that basically caused disruption for retailers and publishers. If you collect comics today, you know that happened. There's no doubt that this is going to hurt collectors and collecting, and it already has. And I've been collecting comics since 1985, and I stopped altogether around 2019, 2020, when the reseller market really took off, and finding a good deal became extremely difficult. So this bankruptcy it's going to disrupt the supply chain, and guess who benefits? If you said resellers and the secondary market, you're absolutely right. So if you're still going to eBay or Mercari and other sites to get your comic books, they're going to cost even more. Add that to something like the Sopranos protection fee that Mercari started charging buyers, and good luck. You're gonna be basically overpaying for everything. It's a mess out there, and it's tough to be a collector of anything nowadays. So the reseller market has really become big business, as you all know. So just type in reseller on YouTube, in fact, and you've got channels teaching others how to resell anything under the sun. And there are folks doing retail arbitrage out there, and if you think it's difficult to get your hands on something like comics and video games, it's a sad state for collecting. And look, I don't want to poo-poo all resellers, you guys. I resell things from time to time from my personal collection. If I no longer have a use for the item, or I have doubles or something. But I'm talking about the type of resellers that have no care for the creative value of the comic or collectible to the person that wants to enjoy it. like you or I, and they only care about the monetary value based on comps. Honestly, I can't say I didn't see this coming. Diamond Distributors is a bloated mess of a company and was all over the place with acquisitions over the years. I theorize a purchase will happen soon, by the way, or at least for portions of the company, which is already kind of like happening. Also, in reference to comic books specifically, younger kids don't really read them. We have to admit that and just come to terms with it. Most of what's being published out there in comics is shit. You have to agree. You have a few gems here and there, but the industry needs a complete makeover. And the video game market is still thriving online, but that's also thanks to retro gamers like you and me, and the younger generation is into online gaming. So once again, resellers benefit from limited inventory of certain games. And by the way, if you're buying games online from game sellers, you deserve the pain, all right? I hate to say it. Go pre-order your games and other physical media like an adult and stop contributing to, as Sean likes to call them, the Timmies and the Poindexters out there that are making money off of you. All right, so here are some final thoughts on what happens next with the impact of Diamond's bankruptcy. So first off, the restructuring on the comic book market will be profound, especially given the industry's current state of decline. And let me tell you, between 2019 and 2024, that was the best you're going to see with comic book performance, since before the blow up in the 90s, right? I don't think we're going to see comic books come back for years from now, all right? So just get ready for a lot of pain for all of you comic book collectors. And Diamond's central role as a distributor means its financial instability will disrupt supply chains, delay shipments, and create logistical challenges for comic book shops. And they're already struggling. With major publishers, they're already diversifying their distribution strategies. You guys, this is kind of what created this whole thing. The market will experience further fragmentation, as it already has been, potentially leading to a more competitive and less centralized ecosystem. The stranglehold that Diamond Distributors had, it's gone. However, all right, and this is a big however, this could also open up opportunities for smaller distributors to gain market share and for publishers to experiment with direct-to-consumer sales models. So, the secondary reseller market, as I've always said, is likely to continue thriving, okay? As publishers scale backprint runs and collectors grow increasingly speculative, which has been happening, scarcity will continue to drive up prices on the aftermarket. And this dynamic has already led to inflated values for key issues and collectibles. And the trend shows no signs of slowing down, you guys. If you're a collector, if you're a comic book collector, you may want to consider taking a break from collecting comics altogether until the dust settles, or look at other niche like comics that you can go after. Okay, and I know that Sean had mentioned looking at Golden Age comics, and that might be a good idea. Silver Age comics, Copper Age comics, and things like that. But just consider branching out to something else until we see where this goes over the next few years. And that can be a big thing to help, because resellers are going to capitalize on scarcity. It's going to create a cycle where prices for sought after items continue to rise, leaving average consumers and new collectors feeling priced out. And it sucks, but that's what happens. I've had to stop collecting various items as a result of this. Over the next year or two, the comic book market could see a few key trends, and here they are, okay? So basically, one, increased consolidation. Small publishers and independent creators may struggle without Diamond's infrastructure, potentially leading to acquisitions or partnerships with other larger publishers, okay? Retail adaptations, okay? Number two, comic book stores may pivot toward diversifying their inventory, focusing more on trade paperbacks, for example. I've already seen that. You go to any comic book store around here in San Diego, and that's what you mostly see, is trade paperbacks and toys and other collectibles. And they need to do this to offset potential disruptions in single issue sales, okay? And to be competitive. Third, the secondary market boom, okay? As traditional distribution becomes less predictable, collectors may turn to resellers for key items, further inflating prices and encouraging speculative buying. I hate to think this will happen, but we've got to be real about it and just accept it, and I have to accept it, right? Fourth, digital growth. Publishers may push harder into digital formats and subscription services, appealing to younger audiences less inclined to collect the physical comics. And this is really sad, but this is already happening, you guys. And fifth, consumer fatigue. If prices and scarcity continue to escalate, casual fans might lose interest, which could further shrink the market and create barriers to entry for new readers. And like I said, I've stopped collecting certain things like toys and cassette tapes, as you can see behind me, and some video games, because I just can't justify paying insane prices for things that are being sold out there. Okay, I mean, I'm even talking in categories where items are plentiful and not rare at all. The problem is these resellers all mark their items compared to other comps on eBay and such, and a shit ton of inventory of those items just sit there on those sites and don't even get sold, you guys. They also don't end up in my hands or yours. So the people that would actually read the books or play the games. So look, the comic book industry is at a crossroads. Whether the next few years bring innovation and reinvention or more decline may depend on how well publishers, distributors, and retailers adapt to this evolving landscape and consolidation of these companies. The rise of independent creators leveraging crowdfunding and direct sales might be the bright spot, you guys, okay? Like, go check out Kickstarter and other sites where these creators are actually giving us an opportunity to buy into their creativity, and we need to support that. What do you guys think about all this? Do you think better things will come out of this bankruptcy restructure? Do you even care? How do you get your comics and collectibles now? I'm interested in finding out. Let me know in the comments. And do you have a strategy to continue collecting despite some of these disruptions? I don't have all the answers. I mean, I have some strategies, but I'd love to hear yours. And am I too hard on resellers? What's your opinion? All right, guys. Till the next video, stay rad.